All right, Jalen, the Pelicans, they are up 7, and we've already seen Zion put in 11 points coming off a career-low 7-point game on Saturday.
Happy to see him be aggressive, attacking the basket, not settling for jump shots, going after rebounds when they were misses on the offensive side, getting a couple of defensive rebounds. You see him going at Valanciunas, getting his own offensive rebound. For him, it's all about motor, Maria. You want to see a young guy playing, not thinking. Yeah. And the first couple of games, it seemed like he was thinking about being load managed. It seemed like the entire team was thinking about the playoff spot. Now they could just go out and focus on figuring out a way to get the young fella involved.
All right, he's playing in 5-minute bursts, and so far, 5 for 11, 11 points. Okay, he might pop the bubble. We'll see whether or not they can get this win against the Grizzlies. They're trying to get the 8th seed right now.
Gonna need some defensive effort out of Zion, in particular in the second half, because Ja Morant in that high pick and roll with Jaren Jackson Jr. is gonna be a factor.
All right, Grayson Allen, he's got 17 points. Welcome to Studio One here in New York City. I'm Maria Taylor, and that's the only guy with a hairline stronger than Zion Williamson, as Mark Jones just told you before the break. We're going to get to Zion, we're going to get to Ja Morant, we're going to get to Memphis and Grizzlies, but first we want to catch you up on some big-time plays that are being made. Nuggets Thunder. Michael Porter Jr. had a career high in this one, Jalen.
Appreciate the love, Jonesy. And Michael Porter Jr. was hotter than fish grease.
Let's go. 37 points.
12 boards. And how about Jokic? 30 points, Maria, but he also gave 10 assists
and 12 dimes. Maybe Michael Porter Jr. can be that difference maker up front that catapults the Nuggets into contention?
Ooh, I believe we already had this discussion before. The Nuggets get the win. 121-113. LeBron James and the Lakers are a part of our nightcap against the Jazz. Can't wait to see you, LB.
Gotta get going, LeBron. Those Paul Pierce numbers.
This halftime.
And they'll have to do it against a very eager Grizzlies team that's led by the youth movement. Triple J, he can knock down threes and he can post you down low. We also have 2 Rookie of the Year candidates that we haven't found yet, but we are going to talk about them. They're on line 1, and NBA Countdown is here to answer the call.
Hey. I'm like, ooh, pull up and see how I live in my crew. Keep it on 10 and you know we don't lose.
This kid plays nothing like a rookie.
I'm like, ooh.
Phenomenon is taking over.
Yes, he's got it.
How about it? Are people excited or
You
what?
know the vibes every time he come through. Like, yeah, give it away. I had to give some things. I had to pray, move it away. I had to call the name.
AD Dynamite. LeBron James delivering.
Never worry about opinions when you know divine. I'm so rooted, so the flow gon' always be divine.
Oh, my goodness.
The reigning 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Pull up and see how I live in my crew.
Welcome to NBA Countdown, presented by Mountain Dew.
Hello, hi, it's the NBA Countdown crew coming to you live from above the Heineken River Deck Pier at Pier 17 here in New York City. That's my guy, Jalen Rose.
No doubt.
We basically have lived in the same building for the last 4 days.
10 hours every day. It don't stop. Have your remote control in your hand. Walk to the refrigerator, to the bathroom, to the couch or the bed. Rinse and repeat.
And that is all you are allowed to do. And that's exactly what our guys who are coast to coast that are always with us for the NBA Countdown crew in their man caves. We've got Uncle P, Paul Pierce.
The truth.
We've got Jay Will.
Chill, Will.
Checking in. Okay, no ties
What's up,
today.
y'all?
I like it, guys. You still look good from the man cave, so we'll allow the show to go on. I want to break down this race for 8, though, because when we first started out this season, Jalen, we didn't really know that we'd be looking at a full screen that looks like this. When the restart began, it looked like the Grizzlies had the 8th seed all locked up, and the Pelicans and Trailblazers were going to be the teams in top contention, but then things changed. The Spurs, never count them out because they are looking to make the playoffs for an NBA record 23rd straight time and now have the best chance to meet Memphis in a play-in tournament according to ESPN's BPI. Let's talk about the Spurs real quick, Paul Pierce, because they're running a 4-guard lineup. I mean, you'd probably flourish in this atmosphere. How are they even making this push to the 8th seed right now during the restart?
Well, I'll tell you this. One word, Popovich. Showing his greatness once again. The Spurs, you can never count them out. I mean, I think I've counted them out the last 2 years, and it just shows his coaching brilliance. Without LaMarcus Aldridge, he's able to adapt to what he needs to do to get this Spurs team in position to be a playoff contender. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing coaching, we're seeing the leadership. We're seeing these guys who we have written off pretty much. We put it in the hands of the New Orleans Pelicans. We've been fighting for them because that'll be an exciting matchup for the Lakers. We talked about the Trailblazers because they've been healthy. But it's the San Antonio Spurs who are rising to the occasion.
Because the media always is ready for what's next. And the Spurs, and to Paul's point, has snuck in a youth movement. Murray, White, Lonnie Walker Jr., they're terrific young talents. The vets, Spurs and Portland, have been taking care of business. The youngsters, Memphis Grizzlies, and our squad tonight, the Grizzlies and the Pelicans, they have not been taking care of business.
Right.
So now they have a head-to-head. It's vastly important to see which one of these teams is going to come out and get it done. But I can't front, Jay Will. I think when the dust settles, the Portland Trailblazers end up in this spot. Wow. That's what I believe. Your thoughts?
The real question is going to actually be who gets the suit, though. If the Portland Trailblazers make it, I don't understand who still gets the suit. Okay, Jalen's saying that he does. But here's the reality. Jay Will, what I was going to say is that they're very...
Get in, I have to buy Jalen Rose a suit.
I love the delay.
Yes. And that one looking good tonight, bro. That one right there looked good. I wish you had a tie. I'm going to get two pairs of pants and
Every
two
day
ties.
I'm on air. Every day I'm on air, I hate you
Jay
more and
Will,
more.
here's
Jalen
what I
Rose,
have.
But respect
the
and love.
Grizzlies are obviously super young. Portland Trailblazers. Jalen sat here and said if they go to overtime, they're going to lose because their youth will not be able to rise to the occasion. So how can they in this scenario when they are ahead, when they have the 8th seed, how do they hold on to it, Jay?
And T, I think that just all comes with experience. I mean, we're looking at a very young team. Obviously, you have a lot of young Thundercats and Dylan Brooks and John Moran and Triple J. You have some splash of veterans in there as well. But I think it really comes down to the continued evolution of John Morant. I think the more that he understands in the game scenarios and situations and they continue to develop, I think it's nothing but time for this young basketball team. I know everybody wants them to make the playoffs and they're in a hunt to make the playoffs, but still, I don't think it's an indictment on their season if, per se, by the end of it all, they don't make the playoffs because the Spurs actually find a way to get it done, or same with Portland if it comes down to a playoff scenario. This team is still growing and they have all the potential in the world.
And we also know that the Pelicans were only 3.5 games behind the Grizzlies when we entered into the restart. They're young as well. So just to review what we've seen from them so far, it was a really tough loss that they suffered from the Clippers. And they've certainly struggled, especially with turnovers. They've committed 39 turnovers and allowed a league high 54 points off of those turnovers in the bubble. Overall, New Orleans has been outscored by 25 points, tied with the Kings for the worst since the restart. And now we welcome in Malika Andrews, who has been in the NBA bubble for 35 days and counting. And she's been following the Pelicans. Malika, how are they handling the pressure to bounce back from Saturday's loss to the Clippers?
They are coming into this game and seeing it as a game that they must win. They don't have the luxury of counting individual wins and losses anymore. It's just we must win all of the time. And I actually had a chance to sit down with Brandon Ingram yesterday, Maria, and he talked about that mentality and how Zion is a huge part of what they do and the pressure that he commands, the attention that he commands. Brandon said he's seen it with Lonzo in LA first. He saw it with LeBron a little bit, and now he's seeing it with Zion. And he just said that he was so impressed with how he handles that spotlight, both on and off of the court.
The good thing about him, he's not caught up into everything that's around him. He's caught up in the game of basketball. He likes to work, he likes to come in, put his work in. He knows exactly what he does well, and he does. So I think he handles everything very well.
He didn't have the chance to handle the bowling expedition that the Pelicans went on very well because he was still in quarantine. So it was Brandon Ingram who said that he played well, but it was Josh Hart who actually ended up winning. And he said that had Zion been there, he expects that Zion would have just bowled the pin straight over, might have even knocked them in half. But for now, they're putting that aside, they're putting the fun aside and just focusing on what they need to do, which is be aggressive on defense, let that spark their offense so they can walk away with a win against the Grizzlies.
All right, Malika, thank you so much for your reporting.
Thanks, Maria.
All right, we're getting you set for Pelicans, Grizzlies to tip off, but our night game, the nightcap, is Lakers Jazz. We're going to be talking about LeBron and what he has to do in year 17 to accept the challenge for a Lakers championship. Plus, the bubble life. It's a necessity for the NBA, but how can you make it fun, fresh, new?